I'm in a brand new environment. Look at this. I'm in my uni flat, my uni accommodation now, because I'm back at uni, and it's dreadful. No, I'm joking. It's a good time. I am re-recording this video because when I recorded this one last, it didn't really... I just watched the footage back and it was a bit meh. I didn't really know what I was talking about because it had been a while since I'd seen this animation I'm about to react to. So it's going to be less of a reaction, more of an actual like discussion about what this animation is. So today we are reacting to the Sonic CD intro. If you don't know, Sonic CD sort of came out between, I believe it came out between sort of Sonic 3 and Sonic and Knuckles, I think. Either that or Sonic 2 and Sonic 3. It came out between one or two of those. The intro is phenomenal. If you are into 2D traditional hand-drawn animation, go and check it out without me talking over it. I'll put a quick card over here and you should be able to simply just click on that and it will take you to the video that I'm watching right now. Without further ado, let's start watching. Straight away, I love all of the Sonic the Hedgehog music, all of it, from early to new to now. Love it all equally. So I wanted to talk about this. So here we have this like tranquil landscape, you know, not a lot's going on here, and then obviously you start to see the cloud of Sonic. This is a nice little way of introducing the main character of the video game, of the animation. It's big, it's dramatic, it works. Really, it's just to demonstrate that Sonic is a force to be reckoned with. He is the oncoming storm, you know, and he's on the horizon and coming towards us. And then here, I wanted to talk about actually how, because of how fast he's moving, you can actually get away with the frames of his run cycle and his movement being further apart, because that, you know, that connotes speed. But yeah, super nice. It's so good. It really is good. He's running straight towards the camera and he actually overtakes the camera, again just signifying speed. And then that there is actually duplicated, as you can see. That is a flip of that image. Like, that's crazy. And that gives off a decent run cycle. I think they add in more frames later. Oh no, yeah, look, it is literally just like a duplicate of that frame. So it goes, what is literally a 2-frame run cycle. It's like 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, and then that final punch frame actually lingers for 2 frames rather than 1, and that sort of acts as like a recoil and a bounce. That's the amount of force that's going into his arm, and he's having to pull it back because his fist has gone too much. Your fist doesn't just stop straight when you're punching the air or whatever. It will always bounce back because we're organic beings. Everything we do is on arcs. Everything we do has a certain amount of power that then has to come out, you know. Whether that's if you're punching somebody, they might like jump back a bit because of that force, but if you're not, the force gets disputed, and you can see there, my fist, even if I try not to, my fist will always jutter forward slightly just because of that force. Ooh, sorry, I've never noticed that. Hang on. Look at that shadow going across the mountains there. What is casting that light? I mean, it's very dramatic. That's really cool, but I don't understand the logic behind it. And obviously zooming down. So here, this is actually a scene that I wanted to talk about because this is very, very clever and saves a lot of money in animation. Is this little scene here, he's hopping to and fro from trees, and there's a foreground, a midground, and a background by the looks of things. And Sonic's sort of zooming through, but the animators have used the trees in the foreground to actually hide where Sonic, so it's like a couple frames of animation where Sonic would have to be moving. Instead, now you get these 2 frames where he's sort of crouching into that position, ready to jump, and then you get this frame covered up by a tree, which then, oh, I'm actually still going backwards, never mind. So you get this frame, which then he hops straight to that. So he goes to there. That is probably, so this frame here is probably just the other end of this frame, but it looks like a different frame because obviously you can't see his face here. So that's going there. Then he gets covered up by a tree, which then means that they don't have to animate his legs coming forward at all. And then oh, I keep doing that. And then he's about to hop. And then he doesn't actually come off the branch. But in the next frame, because this tree was covering him, he's now hopped forward. And again, that frame is the same as this. Is it the same as this frame? It's similar to this frame, probably just enlarged. And look at that. That is such a big amount of movement. And then again here, his movement gets hidden by the tree. It just means that I get to cut frames. That's the point of this little bit. And it still is super effective at connoting and denoting the amount of speed that he's got and velocity that he is achieving as he's running. So all of these crazy camera angles would have been super difficult. Sonic's quite an easy character to draw. He's a ball on top of a ball with some spikes. But getting all of these different angles, especially in this bit here, because you're having to actually want to see how they did that. So that obviously is just, that is a flipped image of this. That's why his mouth changes sides. It's just flipped. And then he's got them feet going. And it's bod, and then it's that, and then it sort of like arcs up, if I'm not mistaken. So you're having to learn how to draw this character from multiple different angles. But notice how his body doesn't really change size. It does, but not as much as his head. His head gets a lot smaller, and there's no sort of pops there into position. And then suddenly it's the top thing, and he does this super peel out. Starts running and starts zooming past some rocks and everything. I wanted to pause it right here because there's a nice little bit of exaggeration right there. So again, same thing with the fist. You're going to want to like overextend the fist, but this pushes the amount of force. Again, this is all just to connote how fast he's going and how much force is going behind him having to put his hands out to stop him. He literally like lunges forward to the point where the gravity would have its way. He'd just fall onto these rocks here if he was anywhere except in a cartoon. But no, he actually pops back up, and now he's balancing on his hands for no reason. He's just balancing on his hands, giving his feet a break. And yeah, it goes into the rock, zooms up, and now Sonic's taking up the most of the screen, still balancing on one hand, but looking out with his massive hands. I also, in the previous time I recorded this video that isn't going up, I talked about how they are actually teaching the player little things about the game in this intro animation. So it's known canon that Sonic cannot swim. You know, you get the whap whap bubbles and everything in every single Sonic game. In every iteration of Sonic, you get whap whap bubbles. And here it's just teaching you that Sonic struggles to swim. He sort of flays about. That's again, it's there are things that you can do with cartoons that you can't do with any other sort of medium. You can push things to the extreme. So here, for example, he stops, looks up, and is like, oh, and then bounces back down into what I can only describe as a sneeze, and then bounces back up, and looks all puzzled, and that works so well. It like you can barely see it, but all of those super fast movements. Also, Sonic's got a neck. Just realised that Sonic has a neck. How weird. But yeah, it's all exaggeration, because that's the glory of this character model. It's something that was always in the Sonic the Hedgehog sprites from Sonic the Hedgehog 1, 1991. And it's Sonic's ability to emote, even as pixel art. It's something that Mario never had. I think it's why, as a kid, I was more drawn to Sonic, is that Sonic's sprite sheet has so much emotion behind it, and Sonic himself was already a character even as that game sprite, rather than having this animation or any other sort of form of media or whatever. You could tell what Sonic's character was, whereas Mario's sort of just like, yeah, you know, his face never changes, he just death stares. He's like, no. So having these massive eyes that can emote and a face that can squish, and again, Sonic is just two balls. He's two balls with some legs and some arms, and it lends itself so well to animation. It really does. Again, saving on animated frames. So this, first of all, this scene where it sort of turns around his head, the sky's whipping past him. It's pretty good. I like it a lot. I'm just gonna mute it so that I can talk. I like it a lot. It like zooms past him, but then in this pullback, there's actually 4 separate frames that fade. There you go, one after another. They fade into each other. So here, you can see there's a fade there, where it's another drawing of Sonic slightly in lesser detail, but further away, and again in lesser detail but further away, and it slowly pulls out to this massive landscape. This is an animation equivalent of a drone shot. The only way that you'd really be able to get any sort of camera shot like this was with a big old helicopter and a team of people, but with animation you can just draw it. Like literally your only limit is your limited imagination. I should probably turn on the music. Oh, so good. So that was the Sonic CD intro. My god, I remember watching that animation for the first time and being blown away. I love the art style. I've always loved Sonic as a character, and that scene there is one of those that just stays with me. But now I'm gonna go to a slightly newer one. A couple years ago, I think it was 2017, we were introduced to the amazing thing that was Sonic Mania, a Sonic game that was made by the fans and commissioned by Sonic Team. So it was just everything that fans wanted, and a game for the fans that wasn't 3D Sonic in all his clunky glory. It was good old 16-bit sprite Sonic, and it's glorious. And they animated this little intro, which I will show you now. Yeah, so this is the intro. Sega proudly presents. So immediately a cleaner art style. This is literally just technology that is doing this. I believe this was animated in Adobe Animate. I'd assume so. The lines are looking very Animate. But yeah, it's looking good. Here again, you can see compared to the walk cycle from Sonic CD, you can see this one's a lot more detailed. Obviously still conveying speed, but with these speed lines you can sort of tell that he's running super fast. And you can see that there's a couple of frames here. I think it's done on a mixture of frame rates. So it's on 3s and 2s, I believe, at certain points. But you can really just see really well done, actually. Sonic doesn't have a neck here. I feel like there's a lot less to say about this animation. It looks fantastic. Visually, it's stunning, and there's you can see, like, I'm gonna go back, way back, but you can see here there's a nice use of easing and anticipation, especially with Knuckles sort of riling back his fists and then pounding them together, and you can just see that there's that's a lot of movement to happen like that. But that is basically just the equivalent of him pulling back, settling, and then that little like you know, that his hands are doing, that gears the eye up for a movement. And when it jumps to this final movement with his hands together, your eyes sort of don't see that it's literally it going like boop, boop. And there should be, yeah, so there's actually a little bit of squash and stretch there. So to show impact, they've squashed Knuckles' hands together. It's like if you squash two balloons together, they are going to like stretch out and inwards with the pressure. That's what his hands are doing there, to show the amount of force that Knuckles has just exuded on himself. And he does it twice. I wouldn't be surprised if it's I wouldn't be surprised if it's literally the same, like, couple of shots. Come on. So he's... it's the same couple of frames that are just redone. So yeah, oh, nice. So he actually pulls back and there's another frame there. And he pulls back into a similar pose. And then again, goes in with the ease there that cues you for that movement. Bang, and relax. And it's actually 2 stages of relax. So there's that, which is the extreme pose of them just colliding. There's this as they're settling. And then this settled. Boom. That's easing in and out. And squash and stretch. All in one. Very, very good. Let's hop back to where we were. Where were we? Like I say, this animation visually is fantastic, and it's all done in like Animate and everything. There's just not a lot to say about it because of the fact that it very much, I don't want to say plays it safe. This is a digital animation rather than a traditional hand-drawn animation, so everything can be kept to one folder. Whereas with the Sonic CD intro, there would have been thousands and thousands and thousands of separate sheets of paper. Skateboard going outside. There's thousands of separate sheets of paper that would all combine for this single thing. And I think this was I think this was mainly animated by one person as well. This intro. I don't know the animator's name, but I assume it's animated by one person. skip forward a bit. You've got this, so this is actually very clever. These silhouetted characters in the background are just images, but they're being tweened so that they look like they're floating and moving, but actually they're just a single drawing. And your eyes are kept on the main big boy here, and his bellowing cape, and this. It just gives it something in the background that will happen. If they weren't there, it would just look a bit bland. So that's super good, and without having to animate completely new characters, just silhouettes. Oh, again, need to turn on the volume. Oh, sorry, I just saw something that I quite liked. I've never noticed Knuckles down here, spinning on the ring. Oh, that's so simple, but it works so well. Look at that. I'm not even looking at Sonic. I'm looking down here. That is magical. Oh my god. Yeah, and then you've got Sonic sort of turns as he falls. Very, very nice. Fantastic. There was one thing else I wanted to talk about in this. It's actually more of just a filmmaking thing, but you can see here, we're back here with Knuckles on the ring. If we look at Sonic this time, you can see he starts to roll back into the roll. He's falling, and you can actually see the top of this cylinder in the background here, and it cuts on an action. So Sonic falls out, and he's still like that, smears and all of that good stuff into. He looks like a ventriloquist. You can't see it because of me, but he smears here, and rolls into the ball basically. He sort of like hits his ass and rolls into the ball, but that's cutting on an action. That's cutting on an action, so you can actually it's more of a media, just a filmmaking term. If there's someone who is about to sit down, if you cut to the shot, say it's a dinner scene, and you want to get a shot of the guy sitting down, but you want to then go into the over shoulder sort of conversation shot, you can actually cut as he's like pulling out the chair and about to sit down. You can cut to another shot from the angle you want of the guy sitting down, and it will look more cohesive, and the film will look more non-broken. There you go. So you don't just learn about animation here, you learn about filmmaking too. But yeah, so that was Sonic Mania. It's super, super cool for all Sonic fans when this came out. Because Christian Whitehead had been a name around for a little while, he sort of ported the original Genesis games to apps, to phone. So, you know, getting fans of the games and people who know what they're doing and know what they want from this specific character, oh, great. It was great. So, so good. Yeah, there we go. So that was my sort of take on some of the Sonic animations from the past. I really hope to see some more. Obviously, the Sonic Mania sort of had a web series in a very similar style, animated by the same person, and that was really, really good. It sort of is almost early animation rubber hose style, but it's super good. It's Sonic, it's fun, it's very vibrant, it's charming is the best way to put it, really. But yeah, if you want to see more and you want to learn with me and be up to date with videos and everything, subscribe, do the likes, and follow me on Twitter, basically. But yeah, that was it. That was Animator Reacts. Ta-ra for now, lads.